Hi, everybody. It's Helen McConnell from helenmcconnell.com. And thanks for joining me for this series of tapping into higher consciousness videos. Today's video is creating better relationships through higher consciousness. You're going to learn how to improve your relationships, all types of relationships, by raising your consciousness. This has nothing to do with what the other person does. So on this chart, on the screen are the 4 levels of consciousness that I like to use when I teach tapping into higher consciousness. But I want to say that there are infinite levels of consciousness. So even if you think you've gotten to level 4, oneness consciousness, you can still go higher and higher and higher. And there are infinite layers in between these levels. I just use these as a framework for teaching because it makes it easy to just have 4 different levels. And most people are in one or more of these levels in different areas of their lives at the same time. So I might be in level 1 consciousness with regard to my finances and level 4 consciousness with regard to my spiritual life. It will change from moment to moment. But the idea here, we're going to look at level 1 consciousness, victim consciousness. This is when we are in the mindset that life is happening to me, like I have no control. From that level of consciousness, we tend to blame, complain, we feel dissatisfied. We say things like, why me? We want to find out whose fault it is. And we basically experience a separateness between ourselves and everybody else, anybody else, and we feel powerless. On the screen here are just some of the symptoms of level 1 victim consciousness. Blame, anger, hurts, resentments, jealousy, the feeling that I'm right, they're wrong, which is really prevalent. I'm easily offended. I gossip and share negativity, and I feel fearful. You may not notice these things in yourself, and they can be so prevalent that you don't notice them. But I'm going to invite you to ask yourself lovingly and honestly which of these you participate in. As you go into your relationships, intimate relationships or any other relationship, I invite you to begin to set the intention that you are going to create a harmonious relationship. This could be at work, could be at the grocery store, it could be with your in-laws, with your siblings, with your children. Harmonious relationship. That means way less negativity, way less fighting. The idea that I'm right and you're wrong is one of the fastest ways to eliminate harmony in your relationships, but this whole list will affect your harmony. So let's look through the list again. And notice, if you're in an intimate relationship or any other kind of relationship, if you're blaming that person or someone else for a situation in your life, your relationship is going to be less harmonious. Same is true if you're experiencing anger, hurt, resentments, jealousy. There's the I'm right, they're wrong. And it doesn't have to be at the person you're in a relationship with. If you're experiencing I'm right and they're wrong with someone outside of your intimate relationship is going to suffer. And you may not see it as suffering, but you will begin to realize as you let go of these things that your relationships can get better and better. When you're easily offended, when you gossip or share negativity or experience a lot of fear in your relationships or around your relationships become less harmonious. So today we're going to take this one right here, resentments, and we're going to tap on resentments because these are so prevalent and people feel justified in their resentments. So what is a resentment? It is a feeling that you feel over and over again. To re-feel is what the root word of this means. We tend to think of resentment as being angry, but it's not just angry. It could be a variety of negative emotions. So we're going to take this resentments and we're going to do some tapping. The first thing I want you to do is identify, just pick one relationship. It can be an intimate relationship or somebody at work or a friend or family member or a business associate or anything like that. Just pick one person that you have a resentment toward. And this resentment could be really old. Think of anybody you feel like they did you harm or you did them harm, and you've kind of been holding on to this. Okay, so I want you to think of the person and the resentment. You don't even have to know what it is, but we're going to tap on it to reduce the intensity of it because it's harming you. All right, so tap with me. Tap on the side of the hand and repeat after me. Even though I have this resentment, and you can repeat that. When I think about this person, I love and accept myself. And I would like to get free. And you're going to think about them some more. And this person doesn't even have to be alive. Even though I've been holding on to this resentment because my ego thinks I should hold on to it. My ego thinks I'm justified. And keep tapping on the side of the hand and say, but my higher self knows that I am not justified in this resentment. That it's time to let it go. All right, and one more time on the side of the hand, even though I've been holding this resentment for all this time, I'm ready to be free from the bondage that I created. Okay, now we're going to tap around the point, starting at the top of the head. We'll go back to the top of the head. This resentment on the eyebrow. I've been holding this resentment, side of the eye, for a really long time. Under the eye. I have felt justified in holding this resentment. Under the nose. But I'm becoming aware on the chin that I'm not justified. Collarbone. That's just a way to keep me in bondage. Under the arm. That's just my ego. And go back to the top of the head and say, this resentment on the eyebrow, it's hurting me. Side of the eye. And it's affecting all of my relationships. Under the eye, whether I'm aware of it or not. Under the nose. I'm ready to release this resentment. On the chin, I'm ready to be free. Collarbone, to no longer talk about this resentment. Under the arm, and to make it right. All right, take a deep breath there, in and out. And just really sense into this resentment in this person. And you may have to do this a few times to really get free of it. But I want you to notice any part of you, any part of your mind, body, or spirit that says you need to hang on to this resentment. It isn't safe to let it go. It's not safe to hold on to it because it is hurting you. It's hurting your spirit. It's hurting your health. It's hurting your immune system. It's time to let it go. And if you owe amends or if you need to apologize for something, go ahead and do that. Even if the person isn't alive anymore, you can, in your daily prayer or meditation, you can apologize to them. And if it isn't safe to contact the person, don't contact them. Just set them free from your heart and your spirit and send love to them. Not human, I love you kind of love, but the greater love, the unconditional love. Okay, so you can do this, repeat this as many times as you need to for that one resentment until it starts to dissipate. And I hope you'll join me for this series of videos. I'll go through these other symptoms of level 1 consciousness. But this, letting go of resentment, is just the beginning. Your relationships can get better and better and better. I'm Helen McConnell. the creator of Tapping into Higher Consciousness. And this has been part of the For Better Relationships series. I hope you'll hit the subscribe and notifications button, and I'll see you soon.